Hey guys, Ultra Safe Driving. I've been watching some YouTube videos on how to do a lane change and how to adjust mirrors, and I probably shouldn't do that because then I get caught up in writing all these comments and trying to correct people. So I just watched a video that got hundreds of thousands of views on how to do a lane change. Okay, so the guy was okay. He was okay. It was a very quick explanation, but most people are missing one extremely important check when doing a lane change. Okay, so let's start off from the beginning. So obviously, you put on a signal. Now there's more to it than that. There's some steps before that, but I'm just getting to the actual nitty-gritty of the lane change. There's some other information that is pertinent to the lane change, and I'll talk about it more on another video where I have more time. The sun's going down right now. I don't have much time here. So basically, you put on a signal. So let's say you're doing a left lane change. You put on a left signal, and then you check your rear view mirror, and then you check your side mirror, and then you check your over the shoulder, check your blind spot. Okay, that's what this guy said, and that's what a lot of people say. Some people don't include the rear view mirror, so I applaud the guy for including the rear view mirror in there. But the last check you should do after the over the shoulder check is the path of travel check. Basically, when your eyes come back around, they should do a sweep of the entire area 1 to 2 seconds to see if it's even good to go into that lane. Because I've seen it many times where people do a lane change on the highway or freeway and they get into the right lane, and I say, you just did a lane change into a merge lane. Now you're merging. And I see people do lane changes and then they have to swerve over because there's a cop or something that's pulled somebody over, or there's construction. And I see it all the time where people don't do a simple 1 to 2 second path of travel check to see if it's even good, to see if somebody's pulling out, to see if there's a full-size mattress in the road, to see if the lane's ending for whatever reason. So in actuality, you put on a signal. So if you're doing a left lane change, you'd put on the signal, the left signal, check your rear view mirror, check your side mirror, check your over the shoulder, and then when your eyes come back around, you're just doing a 1 to 2 second sweep. And by the time you do all 4 checks, rear view mirror, side mirror, over the shoulder, path of travel check, that should equal 5 seconds, which is really good. Okay, so 5 seconds is a good chunk of time to help other people see that you're doing a lane change. Again, I don't want to get off on another topic about that, but just keep in mind that you want your signal on for 5 seconds. Okay, it's not always, your signal is not just for the people on the roadway, it's for people about to pull onto the roadway. Last thing you want is to go into the right lane right when somebody pulls out, and then you have to hit your brakes. You could rear end them, it'll upset you, you could get rear ended yourself, and you don't want to do that. So, but if you put on that signal, you never know, it could hold somebody back. Somebody could be just ready to pull on out and go into that lane that you want, but they see that signal and they hold back. I know personally, every time I pull out of my neighborhood, I would love to pull out and go into the first available lane, which is the right lane. If I turn right to go into the right lane, but I look down the road, and sure enough, somebody does a quick lane change without a turn signal. So basically, when I turn right out of my neighborhood, I have to wait for both lanes to be open because nobody uses turn signals. And it's frustrating. It's not too frustrating for me. I have patience. I pull out when both lanes are open. But I feel sorry for the people in back of me because they're thinking, oh man, buddy, pull out, go into that first available lane. It's open, take it. And I'm like, no, I ain't gonna do it. Sorry everybody, and these are my neighbors. Sorry, but I'm not pulling out until both lanes are open because so many people do a quick lane change without a signal. Hence the reason to try to have that signal on for 5 seconds so people can see you. Now, there's a lot of arguments against using turn signals, and it can create problems, and I'll talk about that on another video. I'll kind of counter that on another video, those arguments. But for now, you want 5 seconds of turn signal time, and a great way to get it is by throwing in a 1 to 2 second path of travel check on the end. So basically it's signal, mirror, Side mirror, over the shoulder, path of travel, looks good, nobody pulling out, nothing wrong with the road, no full-size mattress in the road, things look good, go ahead and go on in there. Okay, so the path of travel check is a very, very helpful advanced check that can drastically affect your lane change, your stress levels in your lane change, because there's no point in doing a lane change if there's a guy going to pull out onto a road, or the guy in that lane is hitting the brakes, because you don't want to do a lane change and go right in that lane, and then all of a sudden the guy in front of you hits the brakes, and you're thinking, oh man, I should have stayed in my original lane and just gone a little bit further. Again, a lot of people, they don't do a check and say, you know what, is there anything there that's going to disrupt my lane change? I don't want to get in and have to swerve back over. I don't want to get in and have to slam on the brakes. I don't want to get in, slam on the brakes, and get rear-ended. So it's a 1 to 2 second path of travel check. Some people may say, well, I do a path of travel check before the lane change. So I do path of travel, looks good. Okay, left signal, mirror, mirror, over the shoulder, and then I go in. Well, here's the thing. In just a few seconds, things can change. If you're going 40 miles per hour, you're going almost 60 feet per second, which means that if 3 or 4 seconds goes by, that's 180 to 200 feet. So in other words, you can do a path of travel check before the lane change. Nothing wrong with that. But you should do one just before the lane change, because in 180 to 240 feet, maybe even further, maybe 400 feet, who knows, depending on your speed, things can change. You need to do another path of travel check. So anyways, it's an advanced check. Nobody talks about it. It's the very last check you do right before you get in there. It's just a double check to make sure that lane and everything's still going to be cool in the next 5, 10, 15 seconds. So anyways, hope this helps when doing a lane change. So I'll make a more intense video, a longer video that really goes into lane changes a lot more detail before the lane change, after the lane change, how to make lane changes much more smoother, how to adjust your mirrors properly to help you with a lane change. I'll do that later, but for now, just remember, take 1 to 2 seconds at the very end, make sure your path of travel is good, everything's okay, and go ahead and go on in there. Okay, thanks.